Welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a comparison between Alaska and Puerto Rico. We got Captain Janeway, Inspirations, Nura Circa, and Nurami Circa, and Norman Scott. Piercer, Full Speed Ahead, Beyond Range, and Precision Strike. Or you could go with Punch Through, your option. And for aiming system mod 1, steering gear mod 2, concealment system, and gunfire control system mod 2. Loadout, we have sonar, radar, and heals. We have a epic battle booster, standard camo, and then Pearl Harbor flag. That is the loadout for my Alaska. Survivability, 60,800, 13% torpedo reduction, 40% resistance to fire. Main battery is 305mm Mark 8s. You got 3x3 of those, 3 turrets with 3 guns in each of them. 19.2 kilometer range, 19.5 second reload time, 30-second turret traverse, 2.14 shell grouping. Max range vertical dispersion is 109.9 meters. Max range horizontal dispersion is 183.2 meters. And then median max range vertical dispersion is 30.8 meters, and then horizontal is 51.3 meters. Max HE shell damage of 4,300, 808 meter per second muzzle velocity, and then 27% chance to set fire. Armor penetration is 51 millimeters, and then max AP shell damage is 8,900, 762 meter per second muzzle velocity. And then max armor penetration at point blank range is 647 millimeters at max range, or that's at point blank, and then the max range is 331 millimeters. Minimum ricochet angle 60 degrees, guaranteed ricochet angle 67.5 degrees, fuse timers 33 seconds, 51 millimeters of armor penetration before the fuse times. And then we'll get to secondary is 127mm Mark 32, same guns as what's on the Worcester. You got 6x2 of those, or 6 of those gun mounts with 2 guns in each, 5.2 kilometer range, 6-second reload time, 1 shell grouping. Max range vertical and horizontal dispersion is 12.8 meters. And then medium max range vertical and horizontal dispersion is 187.7 meters. HE shell damage 1,800. Muzzle velocity 792 meter per second. Fire setting chance 5%. Armor penetration 21 millimeters. AA defense, you have your 20mm Olicon Mark IV, and there's 34 of those with 1 gun in each mount. 211 damage per second. Firing range 2 kilometers. 127mm, same, this is the Worcester guns, you use them for secondary also. It's 98 damage per second, 5 kilometer range, 40mm Bofors Mark II. There's 14 of them with 4 guns in each mount, 337 damage per second, 3.5 kilometer range. Maneuverability. We have a 35.6 knot top speed, 8.5 second rudder shift time, 15 seconds engine spool up time. Reverse engine spool up time is 8 seconds. Engine power multiplier speed threshold 7 knots, and reversing it is 11 knots. Concealment, we have detectability by sea, or detectability range by sea is 11.4 kilometers. After firing your main guns, it's 19.2 kilometers, and when the ship is on fire, it is 13.4 kilometers. Detectability range by air is 7.2 kilometers. After firing main guns, it's 13.3 kilometers. When the ship is on fire, it's 10.2 kilometers. Guaranteed detectability range of 2 kilometers, so no matter if you're behind the island or not, if somebody's within 2 kilometers of you, you will be spotted. After firing main guns and smoke, it's 10.2 kilometers. And then the armor, 40mm bottom for the front, but we're going to start in the back. You have a 32mm aft section, and then you also have a little bitty sheet of steel right there that's 269mm. 32mm rear deck, and then 40mm on the bottom, same as the front. And then up here in the front section, the bow is 32 millimeters and the deck is 32 millimeters, so anything 16 inches and below is not going to go through, or 17-inch guns ain't going to go through either. Anything under 18.1-inch guns is not going to penetrate this bow, but anything 18.1 inches and above will go through. And then, let's see, torpedo side plating is 32 millimeters. Armor belt for torpedoes is 178 millimeters. Torp side plating 16 millimeters. Or no, top side, my bad. Top side superstructure side plating is 16 millimeters. Side plating for all of the superstructure, including the smokestack, is 16 millimeters. Conning tower sides are 269 millimeters for armor. The top of the conning tower, no, the bottom of the conning tower is 51 millimeters, and then the top of the tower is 127 millimeters of armor. The casemate armor aftward is 21 millimeters by 260 millimeters. And then the deck is 36 millimeters and 102 millimeters. In some areas, your armor belt is 28 millimeters at the top, and then right there above the waterline, it's 229 millimeters of armor. And you can bounce any shell you want off of this armor belt. You just got to be angled right. For the main battery, the tops of the turrets is 127 millimeters of armor, and then the barbette armor is 330 millimeters, and then the bearing mechanism is 70 millimeters, and then the frontal plate of all the turrets is 325 millimeters of armor. The bottom plate of the turrets is 48 millimeters. Then the side plating is 133 by 152 millimeters of armor. The rear plates of the turrets is 133 millimeters. Now let's get to the citadel. Okay, aftward, so the rear of the ship, the rear of the citadel is 51 millimeters at the very bottom, under the waterline, and then 260 millimeters for the top side. 26 millimeter torpedo bulkhead, 19 millimeter citadel deck, 51 millimeters in the front on the bottom, and 260 above. Yep. And then tough, above average base HP rating, superior AP shell damage, above average AP shell damage, big and flammable. Fires set on this ship last longer due to her size and higher caliber main guns. An instance of a special type of ship, somewhere between a cruiser and a battleship, officially classified as a large cruiser. She was armed with 305mm main guns, had a high speed and powerful AA defenses. On the other hand, she had relatively weak arm protection for her size. Entered service 1944, 3 ships in the class. And then we'll get to her sister. Same captain, same inspirations. And then we'll go load out here in just a second. Aiming system mod 1, steering gear mod 2, concealment system, and then gunfire control system mod 2. Loadout, we have the same thing as Alaska, except we have one less hill. We have the epic battle booster, and then I'm going to change it from the standard camo to the white and gold Pearl Harbor flag. Specs: survivability 64,500, a little bit better than Alaska. 28% torpedo reduction, a little bit better than Alaska. 40% resistance to fire. You have 305mm Mark 8s, 4x3, 4 turrets with 3 guns in each. A little bit worse range, 18.6 kilometer, 21.4 second reload, a little bit worse. 30-second turret traverse, same as Alaska, 2.3. Shell grouping, max range vertical dispersion 127.5 meters, and max range horizontal dispersion 212.6 meters. Medium max range vertical dispersion is 33.3, and then the horizontal is 55.5. Max HE shell damage 4,300 for each shell. Muzzle velocity 808 meters per second, 27% chance to set fire. Armor penetration 51 millimeters. HE shell damage 8,900 per shell, 762 meter per second for muzzle velocity. point blank range 647 millimeters, armor penetration max range 336 millimeters, armor penetration minimum ricochet angle 60 degrees, guaranteed ricochet angle 67.5 degrees, 33 second fuse timer, fuse arming threshold 51 millimeters of armor. Secondaries, instead of the Mark 32s, you have the Mark 41 127 millimeters, 8x2 of those instead of 6x2. 7.3 kilometer range, 4 second reload, 1 shell grouping, vertical and horizontal max range dispersion 258.9 meters, and then for the vertical and horizontal medium max range it's 155.4 meters. 1800 HE shell damage, muzzle velocity 808 meter per second, 9% chance to set fire, and then 21 millimeters of armor penetration. And then we'll get to AA. You have the 127s on top, 132 damage per second, firing range 5.2, 20 millimeter Orlikans, 26 of them with one gun in each one. So it's the Mark 4, it's 158 damage per second, 2 kilometer range, 40 millimeter Bofors. Mark 2, 16 of those gun mounts with 4 in each, 378 damage per second, 3.5 kilometer range. The speed's a little bit better on Puerto Rico, 36.2 knots. Turning circle is a little bit worse, 910 meters. Rudder shift time's worse, 10.4 second rudder shift time. Engine spool up time, same as Alaska. The rest of this is identical to Alaska. Detectability range by sea, 11.7 kilometers. After firing main guns, it's 18.6 kilometers. After the ship is on fire, it's 13.7 kilometers. Detectability range by air is 7.3 kilometers. After firing main guns, it's 13.4 kilometers. When the ship is on fire, it is 10.3 kilometers. Guaranteed detectability range, 2 kilometers. After firing main guns, it's 10.4 kilometers while in smoke. And then we'll get to the armor. Now this is the only crappy thing about Puerto Rico I do not agree with Puerto Warships on. You have a 27mm rear and rear deck, and then you have a 27mm bow. I don't agree with that at all. It should be 32mm just like Alaska. Torpedo protection, 38mm below water. At the water line, well actually still below the water. 216 by 254 millimeters of armor belt for torpedoes. Torpedo side plate or top side plating is 16 by 38 millimeters. Side plating of the superstructure is 16 by 38. Conning tower 279 millimeters. Conning tower bottom 51 millimeters. Conning tower top 152 millimeter. Casemate 38 by 305 millimeter. Deck 19 by 114 millimeter. Armor belt 30 millimeter by 254 millimeter, same as Alaska. Sorry, can't speak. Main battery 127 millimeter top plate of the turrets, same as Alaska. The barbette 76 millimeter for the bearing mechanism, a little bit better than Alaska. 310 for the barbette, a little bit worse than Alaska, so your guns can get disabled easier. 325 millimeter frontal plate. Alaska had 330 millimeters, which I don't agree with Puerto Warships on that either. Bottom plate 48 millimeters. Side plating is 133 by 152 millimeters of armor. Rear plate is 133 millimeter. Now, we'll take a look at the Citadel. Vital parts of the ship: aftward 76 millimeter below water, 305 millimeter at waterline just about, 57 millimeter torpedo bulkhead, 19 millimeter Citadel deck. Well, actually the whole Citadel is below water, so that's the best part about this ship. 76 millimeter by 305 millimeter, same as the rear. 50 millimeter Citadel bottom. But yeah, I love this ship. It's got a good armor scheme. The Citadel is below water, but it's ruined by that bow and that rear section being 27 millimeters. It needs to be 32 millimeters. I hope World of Warships changes it. Tough, above average base HP rating. Guns aplenty, a high number of guns allows for a lot of damage per salvo. That's the same as Alaska, big and flammable. After the failure of the Second London Naval Treaty and rumors of large Japanese cruisers, the U.S. began preliminary designs for their own large cruisers, aiming to counter any other cruiser. They drafted a cruiser larger than treaty battleships, armed with 12-inch 305mm main guns. This design, known as CA-2-D, evolved into the Alaska class, year of design 1940. That is Puerto Rico, one of my favorite cruisers, and I think the reason people did not get this cruiser was because it wasn't worth the money with a 27mm bow and 27mm aft. But here's the video of it. I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for stopping by.
There are 3 things to remember about being a starship captain. Keep your shirt tucked in, go down with the ship, and never abandon a member of your crew. Enemy ship in visual range. Scanners show a Borg scout ship. Enemy coming into visual range. Good job. Switch to another target. Your intent. Sounds like it's going to be one disaster after another on this ship. All hands, brace! It feels like we're being pecked to death by ducks. Computer, this is no time for half measures. You wanted victory. Stand down, repair teams. I've learned to walk the line between hope and caution. We've had other opportunities that didn't work out, but I will admit I'm leaning toward hope this time. coffee. The finest organic suspension ever devised. I beat the Borg with it. Enemy ship in visual range. Sounds like it's going to be one disaster after another on this ship. Stand down, repair teams. I need a coffee. Initiate a subspace deep scan. I want to know what's lurking nearby. Sounds like it's going to be one disaster after another on this ship. This is no time for half measures. You wanted victory. Stand down, repair teams. I need a coffee. I've learned to walk the line between hope and caution. We've had other opportunities that didn't work out, but I will admit I'm leaning toward hope this time. To walk the line between hope and caution. We've had other opportunities that didn't work out, but I will admit I'm leaning toward hope this time.